We are lucky enough to be joined by Peter Hart, who is the Senior Product Manager, and Russ Jenkins, who is the Senior Vice President of Product here, working diligently on the back end of your fundraising and engagement platforms, really striving to make them as wonderful as they can be. I have been fortunate enough to see the magic that Peter has worked through Network for Good since 2019. We've been partnering together, and it's been really awesome to see the progress that's been made, and been lucky enough to be on a number of these roadmaps now with Russ, and just know he's got such a brain for innovation here. So super excited for them to walk you through this. I will take my back seat and I will let them take over. Thanks everyone for being here.
Okay, thank you so much, Amanda. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first half of 2025 roadmap for Network for Good. As Amanda said, I am Russ Jenkins, planning on doing very little speaking today, and I will be soon turning it over to my colleague, Peter Hart. We will be going through the roadmap kind of essentially in two ways. First, we'll talk about the items that we've released in the last several months, just to make sure there's awareness now and you understand the value and the benefits that you're deriving from that. And then we will be talking about the items that are on our roadmap and or currently being developed right now that will be coming soon to you. And then at the very end, I want to spend a few minutes on the Bonterra Network, a nonprofit hub and grant match. And without talking too much there right now, this is the first step in that we are very excited about in merging together the Bonterra vision of being able to bring nonprofits like yourself in connecting you directly with funders in one place, in one location, on one network. We will be releasing some items to beta here very, very shortly. And it's the first step on a journey that we're all very, very excited about. So I'll be telling you a little bit more about that. And then also soliciting if anyone wants to participate in the beta, we'll have a chance to raise your hand there. But before we get to that, and before further ado, I will turn it over to Peter Hart. Take it away, Pete.
Awesome. Thank you, Russ. Thank you, Amanda. Hey, everyone. As Amanda said, my name is Peter Hart. I am a product manager here focused on the Network for Good products at Bonterra, coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana, with a space heater at my feet to keep me warm on these fun February cold days. I'm very excited to walk you through, as Russ said, what we rolled out late last year, and then very excited to also walk you through what is coming at the beginning part of this year. All right, so let's get into it because we have a lot to cover. All right, the first thing, and hopefully these next several things, you all are aware of these things, and hopefully it's just a recap, but these are, again, as I mentioned, things that we rolled out late last year. The first one I want to go over is PayPal and Venmo. These payment methods are now live for your donors if you are on Bonterra Payments. Now, for some context, so PayPal and Venmo, their digital wallets make up about 20% of how donors pay when they check out. So 1 in 5 donors are going to use either PayPal or Venmo to pay for their donation. So we want you to have these available to you, and they are. If you're currently using Network for Good to process payments, it's very easy to switch. You should actually see in your fundraising pages a call to action at the top where you can switch over. It takes about 10 minutes to set it up. Once you do that, you're then on Bonterra Payments, and then you can actually go ahead and set up PayPal. And once you do that, PayPal will get you Venmo at the same time. You don't have to do anything else, and then you'll be ready to go. So we definitely want you to take advantage of that. If you do have any questions, obviously just let our support team know, but it's very quick to switch over. All right, on to the next. Also, Double the Donation is live in fundraising pages. So we're already seeing thousands of matched dollars from employers since we launched this just a few months ago. What happens is when a donor goes through paying for their donation during the checkout process, they have an option to see if their company matches, and they can do that right there. And then the process is handled after that. As long as you have a Double the Donation subscription or account, you can go into your fundraising pages and site settings. If you look up there, kind of top left corner in that screenshot there, you can input the Double the Donation information, and it will be live. It's very quick to do that. This allows you to raise more money from corporate matching gifts. On to the next. All right, so in donor management, this is another long time request here, but you now have the option to capture more interactions that you have with your donors. You can now log phone calls and meetings, and they'll actually show up right there in your communication alongside emails and text messages and videos that you already send out there, and those things are added automatically as they get generated from the donor management system. So you just go in there, click the little add button in the communications section on the customer's profile, on the contact's profile, click phone call or meeting to add the details for that. And then they'll automatically show up there on the contact profile, and it lets you and your team know just the full scope of interactions that you've had with your donors. So you can make those future interactions more meaningful. All right, on to the next. One of the things we're super excited about that we rolled out very much toward the end of 2024, and something that we heard a lot from our customers about was this problem around, okay, so I have one of my donors donates, but the rest of the people in their household looks like they're not donors, or even worse, looks like they are lapsed donors. And so this for couples, this is a main use case here, but there's other instances too where it's needed. So what we did is we created what's called co-donors. So on a household, you can go into a household, you can identify other members of a household as a co-donor. And then when you add donations, they will show up as long as you check that box. They will then be co-donors of a donation. Now what you've done is you've attributed this donation to everyone that you've selected there as a co-donor, everyone in that household. They will actually show up as donors in your donor management system. They'll be filtered as donors. They're not counted twice in your total giving, so you don't have to worry about that. But we're super excited to roll this out to make it a lot easier for you to show who are actually donors in your donor management system. All right, on to the next. And then kind of switching gears here a little bit over into events and auctions. So in auctions, you can now see donations that your attendees of the event, of the auction, make from the auctions page. So kind of toward the upper right-hand corner where they join the auction to bid, they can also click donate right from the auction itself. And now you have visibility into those donations from auctions. So you'll have a new tab that you'll see, and it'll list out all the donations, not only from that are made there, but also during checkout process where your bidders can also add a donation while they're paying for their items too. So it's going to show both. And then also, we wanted to make it faster for your bidders to be able to access the auction. So when they receive that automated email or text message that the auction has started, that link will actually take them directly into the auction already logged in. So we've bypassed that requirement for them to have to log in as long as they use that link, and they don't have to go through the process of logging in. So it's going to make that a lot faster. All right, on to the next. And staying kind of on this events and auctions theme here. So we just wanted to make sure everyone knows that events and auctions are included in fundraising essentials. So that should be the plan that everyone here has. So as long as you have donor management, you have fundraising essentials. And previously, before the latter part of last year, when you tried to add a new event or an auction, you would see kind of a paywall where it says, I think it was $500, or that we had subscriptions also. We've included all of that now in your current plan. So you can create an event, you can create an auction without having to do anything at this point. Note that we referred to events previously as essential events. That was our premium events product. So that's what we just now call events, and that's what you have access to. That includes premium features like sponsorships and promo codes and live streaming features that are available, other things too. But so you can now create events and auctions. I think last year we saw over $74 million raised through events and over $14 million raised through our auctions. So we're excited to see a lot more of those created now that they're included for you in your plan. All right, moving on. And then also with events, you can now track unpaid sponsorships. So what we heard from you all is that as businesses paid for sponsorships, they didn't necessarily give you the check right up front. They said, we want to sponsor, and then you wanted to add that to the event so it displayed and reflected on the event. But it was then difficult to keep track of when they paid or if they paid. You can now easily keep track of sponsorship payments via just using the invoice option when adding that sponsorship offline. And then within donor management, you can easily filter, and then you can update the payment method once they've paid to reflect as such. So making that process a lot easier for you, so you can capture all of those dollars easily. All right, on to the next. Also within events and also giving pages, you now have QR codes that you can easily download and share. So these are available via the share option. You can download that QR code. You can share them in social media posts and marketing materials that promote the event. When your supporters scan this, it's going to take them directly to that page. All right, on to the next. And then we now have the ability to have custom SMS keywords. So we heard a lot of times from you all that it's great that you have or your supporters have the option to text the keywords donate and give, and you could select which page that took them to. But you wanted the option to kind of provide unique codes based on like events and special campaigns or giving days. And so you can now do that. Within the donor management system, if you scroll down in settings, you'll see this option where you can add any keyword you want, and then you can actually associate it with any giving page or event page. And then when your supporters text that keyword to your number, it'll take them to that page. So we're excited to offer that now. All right, on to the next one. And just kind of a quick time saver, but something we heard often was you wanted the ability to duplicate an email draft versus one that's already been sent, which is previously all that you could do. So now you can prepare multiple email blasts at once and get them ready. And if they are, just like each other, you can create that one and then easily duplicate those drafts to create those others and prepare them and schedule them and get them ready to go. All right, and the next one. Also added a few new colleague and relative relationship types. You'll see this in the dropdown when adding a new relationship on a contact profile. Again, just based off feedback we heard, these are the two most common requests, and so they're available for you. All right, on to the next. And then also another time saver and something you couldn't do before. You could always, from contacts, be able to select your contacts after you filtered or all if you wanted to, and then add them to a group. But you couldn't do that from giving. So now you can add contacts, or at this point they would be donors because you're filtering and giving, and you can add them to a group. So this allows you to group your donors together based on giving history. All right, on to the next. And then another time saver here, we heard from you all often that you wanted the ability to duplicate groups. So when you're creating a new group, instead of having to go through, create the group, filter, select your contacts, add into the group, if you had one that you wanted, to at least start with the same contacts you previously had in another group, all you have to do now is go next to that group, click the actions drop down, and click duplicate. This is really just a big time saver that we wanted to roll out for you all. All right, on to the next. All right, now we're going to transition to what's coming first part of this year. So we're super excited to get into this. So the first one is, as I mentioned, co-donors are now available. An add-on to that is we're going to roll this out for online donations as well, so that you can easily see or easily edit online donations that come in, add co-donors to it. Obviously, it's only beneficial if this works for all donations. So we are in the process of doing that. And we also want to potentially automate this as well, so it happens automatically for online donations. So look for that soon. We're excited to improve the co-donors with this next feature here. All right, on to the next. We are rolling out automated NCOA updates. So in your donor management system, you'll be able to enable this in your settings. What will happen is every 90 days, we will automatically check your contacts' home addresses and see if any of them have changed. If they have, we will update them. So we're using the National Change of Address database. Something over around 40 million of Americans change their address every year. So we want to make sure that your addresses stay up to date. And so it will be a very easy process to go in and do that. Also, you'll be able to run it manually if you have added contacts since the last run. So if you have a mailing coming up, you can go in there, make sure and click the Run NCOA update, and that'll just make sure that all contacts have the most up-to-date home address. So we're excited to roll this out very soon. All right, on to the next one. All right, so probably something that we're most excited about is coming very soon, early part of this year. So it's called Optimized Ask. But what this is it allows when you send out an email blast from your donor management system, and it includes a link to a giving page. When your donors click on the link, they go to the giving page. Today, they see the standard amounts, and you input those amounts when you create the giving page or you edit the giving page. But what's going to happen is we're going to be able to use our database of information to display personalized ask amounts based on their giving history. So this is going to show a donor personalized ask amounts based on what we can see in their giving history that's in our database. And so it's going to be unique for each donor. And it's based on our algorithms that we have built in our Donor Trends AI tools. And so we're super excited to do this because what we're seeing, every action, another product here, Bonterra, rolled this out, I think, over a year ago, and seeing a huge increase, some 400% increase in donation amounts when those personalized ask amounts are displaying for donors. So we're very excited. And on this next here, you're going to have an opportunity to actually have early access to it. And so we can actually go into that and show up this poll here. So would you like early access to Optimized Ask? You can indicate here yes or no. We're looking here the next 4 to 6 weeks to actually start rolling this out. And we want you to be able to take advantage of this. And ultimately, this is going to help you raise more money. We feel very confident in this. We feel very excited to be able to offer this to Network for Good customers. All right.
Thanks, Pete. We'll give folks a couple more seconds to get answered. I still see some responses trickling in. Lots of people excited too, though. We have lots of folks saying yes, please, that they would like to get early access. So excited to see that you're excited as well. Give everybody like 10 more seconds here. All right, let's keep moving.
Thanks, Amanda. And so on that note, we are looking to add more predictive models in actions that are powered by our AI models. Things like re-engaging lapsed donors, being able to turn consistent donors into sustainers and recurring donors, helping you predict donors that may churn, that become lapsed, helping you identify donors that have potential to become major givers, and also easier to create donor segmentation, all based on these models. So these are all things that we're looking to add here in 2025. And so we're excited to continue on with this. All right, on to the next. Another thing that we heard a lot of feedback from you all over the years is around being able to track and report on volunteer hours. So this is something we're excited to roll out for you very soon. And you can actually, what you'll be able to do is track for all of your volunteers. You'll be able to create reports based on the volunteers, based on their campaigns and their hours. You'll be able to see all this information on their donor profiles. And so we're excited to roll this out to you the first part of this year. So thank you for the feedback that you all have given, the upvotes in AHA, the feedback portal. It helps us a lot to be able to know what to prioritize, but we know that tracking volunteer hours is just as important as tracking giving. So time and giving are what's most important, and we want to make sure that you can track that time. All right, on to the next. And then a few more things that we just wanted to call out. So we are going to give you an opportunity to have short URLs for your giving pages. We know that those have long URLs. These will just be short URLs that you'll be able to share. It'll be great for text messages, social media posts, things like that. But it's just a kind of a short vanity URL that your supporters can click on and go, or even they could, it'll be so short, they'll be able to just type it in as well. Also, just we're getting ready to roll out here in the next couple of weeks is duplicating auctions. So create those auctions. This gives you the option to do it even faster by using an auction that you've already run. What will happen is when you click duplicate auction, it's going to duplicate all the items on the new auction. So it's going to save you a bunch of time not having to recreate those items, because we know a lot of times you are able to source those same items and you want to have them on the upcoming auction. We're also looking at adding more interaction types for communications. I already called out logging meetings and phone calls. We're looking to add more. And then that little question mark there is what else? And so all this happens because of your feedback. And so make sure under the help menu in donor management, you click on the submit feedback and idea, go add ideas and upvote ideas. We look at those, we comment as much as we can, but we appreciate all of your feedback and upvoting and adding your comments on those ideas as well. So stay tuned, a lot more coming, and we're excited to roll these things out early this year. I'm going to actually, I believe that's it for me, and I'm going to turn it back over to Russ so he can take us home. Oh, we do have one more poll question. So I mentioned that there's more coming with volunteer tracking, adding more intelligent actions based on our AI models. So what we want to know is, are you interested in providing feedback on these solutions that we're working on? Basically, what that involves is us reaching out, scheduling at most a half hour just to show you what we're working on to get your feedback. So if you are willing to do that and interested, let us know here in this poll. And we really appreciate it because it helps us a lot.
Awesome. Responses are coming in quickly. So appreciate everybody who's willing to help us out and wants to give feedback. I'll give everybody about 10 more seconds to get their answer in. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
Great. Yep, thank you, Pete. That was great. A lot of questions in the chat as well, or the Q&A. So I appreciate everyone submitting those. I tried to answer a few, but our expert is no longer speaking, so he may have a chance to answer a few. And then, as Amanda said at the outset, we will follow up with answers to all the questions if we can't get to it. As promised, I wanted to spend the last few minutes here of this webinar talking about something that we are working on at Bonterra that is bigger than any one product, but I think can have a massive impact potentially to your nonprofits and your ability to raise money and connect with funders. And if you've ever watched or potentially not watched the Bonterra Vision webinar that our CEO Scott Brighton put on, I would strongly encourage you to go watch that, because that will give you all the background and context that I couldn't possibly go through in the next few minutes. But the primary goal of Bonterra is to be able to bring nonprofits such as yourselves who have needs of raising money or finding volunteers, so that you have the tools and the resources to go do good in the world, and connecting you with people who are looking to fund those initiatives. So that could be, grant makers, foundations, corporations, whatever the case is. And what we are imagining is a world where you can essentially connect a nonprofit who has focuses in this particular area, has this potential, has these impact metrics that show kind of the return on investments if you are donating to that nonprofit, and be able to connect you directly with people who are looking for nonprofits just like you. And so you're going to be hearing a lot from us over the next several years about what we're calling the Bonterra Network. And the Bonterra Network is essentially what I'm talking about there. It is a place where you can come and connect with what we would call funders, or people who are looking to contribute to nonprofits just like yours. And we are going to be launching something in beta here very, very shortly. And so we'll be looking for nonprofits who will be interested in testing this out with us. And the way the initial thing that we're doing with beta, and I'll just, in the interest of time, show you the screenshots here, is we want to be able to help you find grants, grant possibilities that are on the Bonterra network, find those, and then help you apply for those and write the best grant application that you can, and then be able to make that connection. So there'll be the things that you'll be hearing from us will be called the Bonterra Nonprofit Hub. The Nonprofit Hub will be where you can come and you can register and you can put in information about your nonprofits, what your mission is, what your impact is, the types of things that you might be looking for. And then we will use that information to match you with that second item there, Bonterra Grant Match. And so we'll also on the Bonterra Network will be the funders that we've been talking about. And these funders then will also have their information of like the grant that they're doing, what they're looking for, the kind of impact that they want to see, what they would consider a good grant application. And then we can use that information to connect you and help you write the best grant application that you can, and do that on the Bonterra network. This is a down payment and a first step, as I said, in a long journey that we'll be taking. You can imagine that we could expand this in all sorts of ways. We're looking at also like adding volunteers here. So if you're looking for anything from a volunteer for something on a weekend to maybe someone that speaks Spanish that is interested in causes just like yours, being able to make those connections. But as I mentioned, we'll be starting here first with Bonterra Grant Match, which will be done from the Nonprofit Hub. So last poll question of the day, and we'll leave you here right on time, is if you are interested in learning more about this, if you are interested in potentially taking part in our beta program associated with this, please go ahead and raise your hand and we will be following up with you accordingly. Our goal and hope is that someday everyone on this call and every nonprofit that is a Bonterra customer will be on the Bonterra network. This is where we see ourselves going long term. And like I said, we are essentially taking our first step of our journey here in the next month or so.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Russ. And thank you so much, Pete. And thank you to all who joined us today and participated in polls. And we're eager to jump in and give feedback and be in beta and learn with us. It's really essential to the progress that we're making here. So I appreciate it. We have about a minute left. So if we have time, I think we can cover one question. I saw Pete feverishly typing some answers for you all, but I did see a lot of questions surrounding Bonterra Payments. So do you think, Pete, you could quickly just chat through what the difference is and then how to get set up for folks who are able to stay on for a minute?
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of questions around what's the difference between them, between Network for Good and Bonterra Payments. Bonterra Payments is powered by Stripe. We actually have some help articles with a lot more information in our knowledge base. So I encourage you to go check that out because it provides a full description of what's different. But ultimately, the rates are very similar. Bonterra Payments is 2.9%, 30 cents a transaction versus NFG, which is 3% flat. But with Bonterra Payments, you get Apple Pay, Google Pay, and now we have PayPal and Venmo. Other options will be coming soon, but it just gives you a lot more payment methods for your donors. And the reporting in donor management system has improved tremendously thanks to a lot of your feedback over the last year. So you can now, within your filtering, actually see all transactions for every payout and deposit that you see in your bank account from Bonterra Payments. So there's definitely some advantages. So we encourage that. And also, if you want to use auctions, you do need to switch over to Bonterra Payments for various purposes. But auctions does need Bonterra Payments to be set up to allow your bidders to check out. So you don't need to do that just to create the auction, but by the time it runs, just make sure you do that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pete. And thank you so much, Russ. Really appreciate all of the insights and the kind of response to customer requests and the vision that we've implemented here. And I know you two are at the forefront. So a lot to be grateful for. And big thank you to everybody who joined us today. Hope this was helpful. Hope you're really excited about where we're going next. We look forward to giving you any future updates that we have. So on that note, have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll chat with you soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.